na tab no aso elections reference center ene ene di bibia no start here 14 September 2020 e was for bekaya December mu 2016 elections reference center de didi agrosa this chair ho ade edisua ade man confirmation ema wo bia se be ade be se wo hia man kofo kra bo ehun say yes me vote rights eni ya me kwa obi ntimi popo na ni nkyerɛ me obi ntimi hunhuna me ebena asan aso MPP for last month akọ Cape Coast akọ launch manifesto it is an bibia asset say e was it me the election reference center no esa babiem mabusa ache na yesi abro ashe dem ekọ adwade so charge say wo ye no huye yesi abontin me den the god na sarbedi akome ne obotenti kwabra akwachi e na betre dwum ne di enkomo kakran na ye bekọ the whole Ghana but enano ye bekọ Eastern region focus on bekọ Eastern region yes ye na ho na sunset ho ni freeba eno ntine wia no e free ho no mo a na je se e bank kakran dwedie no se kra netie de tia ne se abato no a ebusafo so papa se COVID-19 ba yen na Ghana fo nyina wiase fo nyina ho kire yen na wo se utimi nye okandifo obeta take decision bold decision say yen shed them ana yen shed them say e bi obamie skaka krade atoye ho am ye ho ahenhan kakra unya kandifo eno nti busa wo ho se ka akoto ababi ti say 2016 ekọ benkum a ene ka COVID-19 ba afia busa wo ho say se ne gebeye na wasa busa wo say eno nti 2013 14 15 16 ekosi early 2017 na dunso a adokro Ghana man busa wo ho se wo ye adwuma wo de wo ye hairdresser wo pompe tie just have organized the adwuma na making wo nika wo ye baba busa wo ho se enka kwoto aba ekọ benkum a ena anko de okoto aba ma president na nado dan kwakufu ado ene MPP ba ya eka enemremu eka da so kanea na se woni kanea ye bedi sankomo nyina ye bekọ Ghana afada nyina na ye busebusa ye ho se yakopon ado ya registration ewie 18 September ya na omo start exhibition ebusafo be catch obi ase se otibeko na ko hwese wudin no ya tro emu ana obi yi wudin firi mu ana sa na wudin kwa spell no ana e so ko na ko hwe e ho hia te se de da ko tro wudin na no eni ntie no so be bo hu dawu na ya hwehwe figures no se e tro bia no wate se abatuo no e tro bia na this for ka ye agenda 50-50 agenda 70-30 anya se ano kekeromodi kan figures no osunsanso e wa che do betima di nkunim de wontimi eni nkunim ya no ntrom ka se ni agenda 70-30 agenda say sa wo wotina fie no wankwankoto aba wa hwere mo bi agenda 70-30 na bem ye bedi nkomoyin ye be start ahwe figures a e free bi Ashanti region e free Central region e free Western region e ba e taba se pe ne sa ato na MPP fo betim edi nkonim ye bedi sa nkomo ni nyina ye behwe constituencies nso a etaye swing no adekro ntia wotena fie wonkwa wotena fie no wakwa goto abase pa enipa wo pese ko be win aba no na ko de Ghana esi ba bia ka to say yes dachi Ghana dachi nkeye no ena sa wonkwa akwa goto aba na wotifie ni nti no ye no nso ehun nsusu aso ye ne mpanifo bedi nkomo ye ne party mpanifo nyinara bedi nkomo from national chairman to national organizer, general secretary, Obia no macheche MPP for ahoboabo o maye e de kosa akeyam kwafusi 2020 ya enti ene bedi ehonkobo ya ne political watchers so any posters bi so bedi nkobo ese the make figures no ho asa so ne ya hwe se afin all the compare 2016 and 2020 constituencies be na ebi amu figures no ekosoro na se ekosoro a asikyere kra ne sei eti kofomu a ye de kwa so asikyere ne sei ena se ne gina no so kompa ye no so asikyere ne sei somebody say bi no so amaje so mbeko independent ha obeti chokas mbeko independent I mean so this not the first time I said ni bi eba na ebi ba ya na ne sunsun so aso e wo political party no so ene sen eti na enkobo ne de amunya kai ho ne nyina ye ntena se bi enkobo na me no boteti kobra kwa achi ene wese no ofa e wa kwa babim na ene mate sen
nyame adom
ye de nyame ase
season no man e otimu se ene ma ye moboso nanso abanesa covid adie akwachichiri covid amani ma akachi ama election no so no said yankese normal activities election year bia eba no said yankese normal like ye nyina anim election babidura activities are political parties so any ahomboabo ebem on say election mass mobilization
yes
any shiamu yenkoshia ha yen show numbers yen show strength but afino akọ yafia say numbers game so numbers game a opese dead ebi abetimi e wo numbers no but ewo baby ewo
anya baby ewo
na mo person numbers games dead na utimi kire say me wo numbers untimi nkire no publicly
sa numbers ni enche mu say to the bia make say na MPP fo akwakoye rally omkoye rally wo kumase no afo hwe no enipa baaye eba say Jack Abbas Park enipa baaye do say ewo fam kakra se nipa na amman pe so afo no timi say da bi ene o se krum ya shiki kakra se busafo be kai central be kai se kaswa mkoye campaign bi rally bi wo kaso and this for koye rally bi
2008
yeah 2008 se busafo be kai ho ne ma NDC fo enya awreshemu pa se die ene nyame adom betimi adi nkunim because se die enipa esi bope so no abusafo na je say yes unto say that numbers game ma je say man for confidence it no numbers no e dey say the of eka no wuntimi hu numbers ni ye kesesa we must also put across say Dr. Bawumia vice president or call upper is upper west in the northern region no and the numbers die wonya bi pa nanso so no enye se bia omako mamto platform o magina so ye hwe sa numbers no the difference no dia omunti no I say no ama campaign ye no asesa
campaign ye na
asesa o hwe de say dem people for corporate so mo ya o mo launch man yina campaign no mo say a virtual campaign virtual they say ni page nyina ye nyina fa akon obi agya ne baby na so afa ne computer ne phone no te said oti won so timi gya so na wokasa enunti no numbers de hu hia enti no biti say over benefsin editor ma daily dispatch ono so no ye ne bedi nkomo na what check ye because ye den ya obi am say the benefsin tie say election figures de odi akira ache o real numbers na pa guniti enti oba check ye mu kakra say ebia figures na te say 2008 dia that's because obeti dia ko back across 2000 e de be kra na team numbers na te say ya e team this are change na e ba ye mo manpanyin John Adekunko no ye candidate team be ye president no and na 2008 so no na numbers na te say ya e ma MPP fo etimi elusu ya John Mills etim be ye president no and na 2016 so na numbers na te say and na MPP sa etimi e ba ba mu and ntabusafo ye ne wo rab nefsen so ebedi enkombo ye ne ayifo ni na bedi enko che se ye beko e kra beko MPP for na de na ye ba na se ye beko ma me ko fa ho
oden ena no se de kan ye no dwumadie nani so edos na ye be pese ye beto ye bo ase na ye twa mfoni ye relevant mfoni hu hia na ekasa na yetimi di achiro manfugi enti sanse ya coverage no so no ba bi e kono dos no ye be fa no dedi ka ba attempt to see be region by region enti ene no si ye general niema no wia ye nyina nim se ye tisu ye nso ye da so ti program nsi ye twa MPP press conference mo ye free Aliza enti no so to mu ye be call live but what ye wie de tete animu ni nyina wia and then you be focus on eastern region
yes
ya hwɛ eastern region ye twerɛ din wie say na figures na tie say na numbers no tie eastern region cross say constituency what the biggest number of voters and they say let me say on the records records of electoral commission no say ya ka say there omunyam for figures no enko constituencies din figures ni nyina wo district din. But Eastern region was 33 district and what 33 constituencies.
It's almost a 1-to-1 map.
It's almost a 1-to-1.
The offer can say about one say you can register dinner, you register a constituency, a district. But what? And you district if you are not much to say you have constituencies. But fortunately for us, no. Eastern region then they sort of like 33 constituencies, 33 districts. Until they say a pie. Until the most that
you bet me a sign. District figures we are the constituency.
Yes.
33 no. Sanity or Eastern region. In Tibebia, ye do be call no the air canning no. District once a year. But district we answer Jina Homa constituency bank. In the analysis no. Very easy. Okay. God and said a bit me who said now. Saying Jina na district biano a strength. In terms of numbers and the dynamics. In fact, you bet me the Yama be actually over to the Yamabusa for the NTS say election representative be about to be a hono has said no ma and Abenaya can call MPP force or Alisa Hotel now our former press conference there. I think say Dr. Mustafa Hamid now Obedika now Wakasa it's not your best is Amunchanya.
FM 107.1.
Yewo Anisa Hotel Ira ye Mustafa Abdul Hamid no ene Deputy National Campaign Manager at the New Patriotic Party abaka nsa Walisa Hotel hasisi ameno ekasai boat you auditorium eho ena yewo imprimpri ameno ekasai we another series of press conference NPP amayo kuno afre semtrefo na yababi pim oman 107.1 FM so yabi pim fa live coverage na live feed no e free Alisa Hotel na Accra ahase na yede ma oman for na you say your election season enti amanyo ku ahodo no ewo ano disem na NPP amanyo ku no be koso aka Ghana for na omachire hia se oso moto aba e ma the New Patriotic Party na mfimpino ni aduno abato eda ani ma yemampani na dan kwakufuado prenu eso no watimi ahwe de wo de ato Ghana for enim nti Ibra Mustafa Hamid na sabre me no kasai ogina podium no enim nti yenkofa ne nsema washase edito ensem trofo
on who to elect the president of the Republic of Ghana for January 2021 to January 2025. Week on week, we have made the argument that President Akufo-Addo
on 1 FM
represents the best opportunity for moving Ghana forward. Today, we have called you
Omon FM. Omon FM.
To reiterate that point and to make it even more forceful, President Akufo-Addo represents the best opportunity for moving Ghana forward. Today, we have called you to reiterate that point and to make it
for NPP for press conference. You said my course why fanti Biano, Yebesa go back to Alisa Hotel na MPP for Edom press conference no. Atwa so Dr. Mustafa MPP for Modia Mabone na na du media wadi kakakari nyina no obon ho deru amagana for 18 akrabia Yebesa akobate before I be kona medical catch was say empanifo a dwumedi no ye no be kasa no ewo data no ho de eni obi kan eni chapo bebre enti figures bi a wonti ase adibia ba be phenomenon bi oba bia se ha se de to de bi obi okopose region wen sa constituency we say MPP ewini say pe otu say ne indication say MPP betimi afa aba no sa afe no eno nti no akra na yedi nko ko nyina na se bi telephone no so betimi kwa ka say sa region we die sa constituency we test say MPP we ni say pa na je say ne indication say MPP for ebetimi akodo fa ye nto ankobo no so
yeah nti godin eno no nyina no ye be hwe eno ne dynamics na room
yes
and the theories be bri ho usually no within party biano and then MPP for say two theories in a room and MPP say so munya Ashanti region a manu a certain percentage so Ashanti munya more than 75%. No when you be a eastern region so up to 60%. Yeah na dia just say omowi
yes
bi so beka say there be swings regions be to central region
and the greater Accra
and na kana na nche yenche brahaf mu miansa no they say they are bron half and a bron
east
so chese no so e ka ho ne timima no edi emu enti sa theories ni mienu no ye be analyze nyina so ankasa ewum sabre no say Ghana ya na parliamentary and presidential say the party bia ebenya no ya na ene chese parliamentary results no and presidential no eta ebo ho o ma ye ntafo at least anyway nim say party bia win parliamentary majority no omo win presidential
yes
just said 2018 kwana MPP first round no eba say parliamentary no more minority na presidential no die nanado ebro President Mills so over 100,000 what do you say nyina kasa
make no your fire kai
into going to second round on NDC enya message a message no more and say nanado be mampani kra na onti
mu minor
mani twitwitwiri beba
but of I say no krampo no say wo kwa amanone a ye no etimisi ye na fe the hang parliament no say we say the clear cut majority it is say do form coalition now it be mine
79 Dr. Hilary Man so kra no sa na ye Emma.
Yeah, the budget, no.
The budget. Professor
Benne.
The budget he called Parliament. And Omuko Shutuni down. Because that's answer no more than one. Ever form. Unfortunately, no. And yet the then opposition cry. On only party move for cry, it be unsupport to them. Emma Sadiano, Ecobai. Did a point that American say, party Biano, sir, who show strength, who show strong way, our parliamentary number. Yana no so I reflected, you know, into a baby I am that. But don't share 2016, they are in fact parliamentary, no. MPP shame NDC mu ema no kwachiri
omuchum
mu pa 275 no o hwa dodo MPP nyaaye ene dodo a NDC nyaaye kire ye figures no nyina beba no de a wo de wutimi say na omuchum no wachiri
of me yensan kwalisa hotel me say na for MPP for press conference no yeba
is the most important factor in the development of any nation. Those of us who did O-level economics or even economics at senior high school level have been told that there are 4 factors of production, and out of those 4 factors of production, the entrepreneur is the most important factor of production, not the capital, not the labor. And what empowers you with entrepreneurial ability, even at the individual level, you are the only one who can establish your own credibility. Credibility is not bestowed. And so for our country between 2015 and 2016 to have run to external sources to give us credibility was a huge dent on our sovereignty and, as the Akan will say, on our Dishia status. That's what the Gomba people call breachincy. Self-worth is important. We call on Ghanaians in this 2020 election cycle to choose credibility over a lack of credibility. Indeed, this country had so lost its sense of credibility that it had to import plantain from Côte d'Ivoire to feed its people. It is the responsibility of governments to create the enabling environment for farmers to work to feed a nation. The visionary and far-sighted leadership of Akufo-Addo through the Planting for Food and Jobs program has turned Ghana around from a net importer to a net exporter of food. Today, Ghana exports the following food items to the ECOWAS West African region: cashew, plantain, and I maintain plantain, and I like plantain because you need to remember that in 2016 this is a food product we were importing. Today we are exporting it. Yam, cassava, maize, banana, pineapple, soya beans, coconuts, coffee, palm oil, and shea butter. Ladies and gentlemen of the media, the Akan people say that atiye ema arefie, unquote. To wit, comfort engenders forgetfulness. We have taken the new comfort for granted and have forgotten that it has not always been like this. It has taken the vision and conviction of President Akufo-Addo to restore the dignity and sanity of our country and its people. So soon, people have forgotten that for 3 years, we slept in darkness. For 3 years, businesses in this country had collapsed because of Dumso. Indeed, Dumso cost this country billions of cedis, according to ISE's report. It was not for lack of capacity, as all parties in this country agree. it was simply because the economy was in such poor state that the NDC government could not raise the money required to keep the lights on. When we make the argument today, they tell us that they resolved Dumso before they exited. Here are the statistics of how many hours the lights were off in 2015, 2016, and 2017. So you will see who eradicated Dumso. In 2015, there were 800, mind you, 868 hours, 44 minutes of power outage. 886 hours, 44 minutes of power outages. In 2016, there were 320 hours and 27 minutes of power outages. In 2017, there were 41 hours and 7 minutes of power outages, and then it pans out. So it cannot be the case, it cannot be true that under the NDC, Dumso was resolved. And these are Gridco statistics that are available for checking. So they should tell us if resolving Dumso amounts to over 800 hours of power outages. Ladies and gentlemen of the media, that is what a leadership of vision and conviction does. But beyond vision and conviction, we need leadership of empathy and compassion. For many years, Ghanaians in rural areas were dying because basic medical deliverables like anti-snake serums were unavailable. The empathy that President Akufo-Addo has for the rural people and his vision got him to institute the drone service for delivering critical medical supplies to remote areas of our country in order to save lives. We have established drone delivery services in Omenakun in the eastern region, Walewale in the northeast region, Mampong in the Ashanti region, and Sehiyoso in the western north region. To date, 79,800 life-saving products, medical products I mean, have been delivered to 945 health facilities across the country, including 2,500 COVID samples to 2 testing centers. Just yesterday, Ghana's drone delivery system, together with that of Rwanda, were the subject of a BBC documentary. Indeed, our country is being held in higher esteem across the world just because of the innovation of this drone delivery service. Today, Akufo-Addo's leadership is being praised across the world, with his quotes making it into many write-ups and articles in respected journals across the country. Just go to YouTube or even Google and search for the 10 top most respected leaders across the African continent and see where your president places, and juxtapose that with what the case was before the presidency of Akufo-Addo. President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo is the leader of our time. He has the vision, the conviction, the compassion, and the competence to lead Ghana at this time. Ladies and gentlemen of the media, you don't need an example to authenticate the point that I am making. The nose masks that many of us are wearing should tell you the times that we are in. We are in a COVID era. President Akufo-Addo's management of the COVID pandemic has been exemplary. Today, we are almost beginning to forget that the pandemic exists. Indeed, in many parts of the world today, the pandemic still rages. Just yesterday, Israel reimposed wide sweeping COVID restrictions. In places like India, Brazil, and the rest of them, the disease is still raging. And the World Health Organization has said that countries like Ghana, in which the disease is going down, is because of the leadership of the country and the leadership that has been provided in the management of this crisis. When the president started to put in systematic and well thought out measures to contain the pandemic, and when he said, and I quote, "We shall defeat COVID-19 together," unquote, many took it as political talk. But he knew what he was doing. From the partial imposition of lockdowns to the easing of
circulated videos of the Minister for Education of Nigeria, where he was saying that Nigeria will not let its final year students take their exit exams this year because, quote, it will be foolhardy to do so. And people circulated these videos. Our opponents circulated them gleefully and saying Akufo-Addo should copy the Nigerians. They are not sending their children to school to go and die. Today, Nigeria has followed the Ghanaian example and has sent its students back to school. Only a leader of conviction who believes in the soundness of his vision, who is able to stand his ground in emergency situations such as this pandemic, and to take decisions that seem at first unpopular or that seem doomed to fail, but stands his grounds and at the end of the day is borne out by the results. It takes only a man of conviction. Frankly, if I was president, I would have panicked and perhaps sent our children back to school as many Ghanaians demanded. Not many leaders have the conviction that Akufo-Addo has. A leadership of conviction is what it takes to steer a country out of troubled waters. Whilst it is not that there has been a leadership of purpose and conviction in the management of COVID-19, and we thank God that Akufo-Addo is president of Ghana.
Whilst it is not yet Uhuru, Ghanaians can see clearly that there has been a leadership of purpose.
Ghanaians were dying in their hundreds of cholera. And the leadership of this country looked on helplessly, and I mean helplessly, of a disease that has been studied and it's known, versus a leader who is confronted by a disease that continues to baffle scientists. And even though he's not a scientist himself, because of the soundness of reasoning, vision, conviction, is able to steer the Ghanaian people through the maze. Let us not take the leadership that we have at this time for granted. It doesn't come easy. In further empathy with the Ghanaian people, he gave us reliefs in respect of water and electricity. And because people are compelled to work from home, the president has offered a reduction in the cost of internet services by reducing communication service tax from 9% to 5%, and it's effective today. There's no better display of compassion than this. And curiously, our opponents are describing these relief to the Ghanaian people as reckless sharing of what they call freebies. If giving out freebies is what it takes to show leadership of compassion, ameliorate the suffering of the people, raise national morale, raise national consciousness, and galvanize the energies of the people for ensuring a prosperous country, we shall continue to give those freebies without an appeal. Ladies and gentlemen of the media, the people of Savannah, Oti, Northeast, Ahafo, and the Western North region had been clamoring for separate regions since the immediate post-independence era. Let nobody kid themselves that this creation of new regions is a matter that President Akufo-Addo just drew. It has been the agitation of these regions for decades. And no president had the courage, the conviction, the vision to alter what existed. In other words, the 10 regions. Successive governments promised it and failed. Akufo-Addo promised it and delivered it. It had to take the boldness of a leader with conviction and a leader with the right vision and attitude to go through the constitutional motions required to see the realization of these lifelong dreams of millions of Ghanaians in these newly created regions. The leadership of Akufo-Addo in this matter becomes even more glaring when we remember that there was a son of the Savannah region who was president of this country who promised that region to his people and failed to deliver it. Today, new regional houses of chiefs are being inaugurated in these regions, and new administration buildings are springing up in these regions, and development is being spread out across the regions. Ladies and gentlemen, leadership is about values. There are many things that we take for granted, but only a vision. Even the matter of celebrating our independence. Since time immemorial, we've been celebrating independence only in Accra. Took President Akufo-Addo to begin to take independence celebrations across the country, so everybody would feel part of the national consciousness. That is leadership. It is no mean an achievement. Now, that brings me to the issue of Dabong. The first Independence Day celebration outside of Accra was done in Tamale. Why? Because at long last, peace had been restored to the Dabong state. Today, the people of Dabong refer to President Akufo-Addo as Maltina Abudani Akufo-Addo the First. Malti in Dabani means one who repairs. The repairer of the Dabong state. Through the instrumentality of Akufo-Addo, the wisdom of the eminent chiefs, and the willingness of the people of Dabong, today a chieftaincy dispute that spanned several decades and outlived precedents from Nkrumah to date has been resolved. Mind you, the Dabong crisis does not date from 2002. It is a crisis that Dr. Kwame Nkrumah dealt with and couldn't resolve. It is a crisis that the NLC regime dealt with and couldn't resolve. It is a crisis that Professor Buzia dealt with and didn't resolve. It is a crisis that I.K. Champon dealt with and couldn't resolve. It is a crisis that AK Champa is SMC 1. It is a crisis that SMC 2 dealt with under General Ekufu and didn't resolve. It is a crisis that AFRC dealt with. It is a crisis that PNDC dealt with. It is a crisis that PNP dealt with. It is a crisis that escalated under President Kufuor. And through his wisdom, he established the Tree Community of Eminent Chiefs. At that time, our opponents said that if they came to power, they were going to find and jail people for what happened in Dagbon. So instead of working towards the peace and unity of the Dagbon people, they sought more to divide the people of Dagbon and make this a political matter. In other words, politicizing the Dagbon matter and setting brother against brother. In 2017, when Akufo-Addo assumed the reins of power, he said, and I quote, he said, "Inshallah, in 2018, within 1 year of my presidency, I am going to celebrate Damba with the people of Dagbon," unquote. At that time, many people thought he was joking. Because for 18 years, the people of Dagbon had not celebrated Damba because of the crisis. So how come you are in power today, within 1 year you are going to celebrate Damba? How is that going to happen? It's not going to happen. That's what people say. Now, even though he missed the 2018 deadline, 2019, Akufo-Addo was the guest of honor at the celebration of Damba Festival after 18 years of the festival being organized. Such is the conviction and vision of Akufo-Addo. It bears remembering that a son of that part of the country had been president before. And there was no movement on the matter. Ladies and gentlemen of the media, I could go on and on and on. But suffice it to say that this country is at a crossroads. The COVID pandemic is still with us. Our first batch of SHS graduates are transitioning into university. All across the world, economies are still in transition. Ghana needs a stable and steady hand to transition us across these challenges. It needs a man of vision and conviction. It needs a man who is trustworthy and is credible. It needs a man of empathy and compassion. I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt that that man is Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. For the first time in our fourth Republican history, we have a president who, in presenting a current manifesto, this one, spends time to outline what he has done with the previous manifesto and with the previous mandate. It has never happened in this fourth republic. Everybody just comes, rules for 4 years, and then the next time they present a new manifesto and pretend as if they didn't have a previous mandate. And then we all latch on to the new promises and then we move on. It is what has created credibility crisis for politicians in our country. It takes courage and conviction for a politician to outline and account for a previous mandate before he starts talking about the next mandate. Today, our major opponent is behaving as if he's a new candidate, fresh from the sky, just dropped. Never had any experience in the management of our country. So it's about we are going to do this, we are going to do that, we are going to do that. Simply because he has this innate belief that Ghanaians have short memories. So Ghanaians have forgotten that 3 years ago he was the president of this country. 3 years. January 2017, it's not 3 years. 3 years ago you were the president of this country. Now you are going on as if nothing has happened, as if you just fell from the sky. You know the way they say Konfanochi commanded a boarding school that fell from the sky. So God just created him afresh, molded him and dropped him. So he's come, hallelujah, he's the new Messiah. He's promising things, I'll do this, I'll do that, I'll do that. Debbie, we won't allow you, not so fast. We are going to remind you that 3 years ago you were the president of this country. 3. And when we talk, people say, why is it that after you have said all your achievements, you are always mentioning your opponent? Because this election is about 2 people. It's about Akufo-Addo and your mama. It's not about Akufo-Addo alone. We cannot go on and on and on as MPP as if we don't have an opponent in this election. We do. And if you ask me, quite a formidable opponent, because this is the only human being in this country who God has graced with all the levels of political position. Nobody. 30 million Ghanaians. You, out of 30 million people, and you are the only one that Allah chooses to make you assemblyman and make you MP and make you deputy minister and make you minister and make you vice president and make you president, and you mess up Allah's blessing like that, and then suddenly you want us to forget that you were the most blessed human being in this country. We won't forget, wallahi, we will remind you. We will remind you that Allah gave you everything and you messed it, and the people gave their verdict on that matter in 2016, and it was very damning verdict. It was a very damning verdict. You recorded the heaviest defeat ever in Ghana's electoral history. So really and truly, as Sir John said, may he so rest in peace, what is it that you left at the Jubilee House that you want to go back and take? Sir John offered to go and take it for him. Now he's no more. But as we say, the offer still stands. The offer stands. Faisal Ibrahim Sise can pick it up for you. We invite our major opponent not to carry on as if he's a new candidate. Let him have the courage to own his 2012 manifesto and tell us what he did with that mandate. It is important. Untia kadada, unika fofo. Kadada. Is untia anamibwa ansana wedika yamafofo. Sheka bia sofombashi. Sanang kachi sabombashi. She ayu sankurama katananti hasampala. Ibu yua sankurala to go disi sampala. How many languages have I spoken? so that it's very clear. So that there is absolutely no doubt what I'm talking about. That is the only way he can justify inviting us to interrogate a new manifesto. The new manifesto cannot stand except it stands on the foundation of the previous mandate. Let us debate the previous mandate. You cannot. No matter how fast they try to run, we will bring them back to the old mandate and our own mandate, which is about to run out. And let's compare what we all did with the inheritance. Ladies and gentlemen, at the heart of every manifesto commitment is credibility. I emphasize credibility again. We are saying that among the two leading contenders in this election, only Akufo-Addo has demonstrated credibility, and therefore who alone Ghanaians should entrust with their mandate. Thank you for coming, and may God bless us all.
Inner City and Zongo Development and wa address media no our Lisa Hotel efa ye akendi form you abato ye betui ejina moso ankasa mtre candidate John Dramani Mahama and His Excellency President of Ghana's Republic Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo and Alisa Hotel and openi afreya e wo ha odi sankomo atweni mo se abato ye betui akendi form you ye kasa obetima kendi ni mapa aboa de oman nchechire akonkan a Ghana fo betimi de ogidie ahofama ahotoso ato on so a eye mampani Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo sabri obeka o kan twi kasemu e de amaye nti yesa kofa no so
monhwe Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo anim na monto abane ma ne bio esanse ono ena mudi tumi hye ne nsa no ode nukuredie ode mobrohunu owotema abadaye any your friend is saying sa word no me ya me katwa me mpese me boss word no because ne boy me di enisiade hu no ye di bu man ema oman ye den etumpon ye ba ye no nyoma kesia Akufo-Addo ka se wo be ye nyina no won se enya no kre na ye ntimi nye because omunhunu bi da omunhunu se obi ahye bose obeye sa nyoma kesia na wetimi ayeda nti ye ya enye yie nti oye trofo de ka free SHS ye press conference akese eka e wo brofo kasemu you hear MPP people going around saying free SHS. This is what we call all lie be lie. Nina yeti awaha yehu demonstrations kesia ye ena ye to nwom e wo kwan so eka free education 419 free education 419 ye demonstration to sa nwom no wo man mu ha na why mo na besa enye ndisi for why na besa o he also will be saying bisa say why mo na yesa na ye yesa wie ye no free SHS no ayeden aba say almost a few biara no ubenya obia ne nua ne wofa sibi ne wofa biba ne nana bi hwan akọ free SHS no awenya ho mfaso afei omusi o afei de ye nkuntie bio na afei de ye ba ye be maintain no ye be ye no sene moye na pepepe ne ya ye na amana broso minia enya no kre omu hunu ye omu nim ye omu hunu ye omu ni gidie ewom hwe ewiase wo ho gidie na ye bibiara me ye kremoni me ye kristoni me gidi se me somo no ena ebeje me nkwa nti se madamfo ne wo kristoni na se wo se wo de me kɔ osofo ho na wa ye bibia ma minyi didi a de osofo no beye no enye dwuma sanete it's just about belief keke nti omu nyi didi biara e wade animu ye ka nkane no omzi o MPP for de o ka koko asɛm a omsi free SS o ka kose ho asɛm a free SHS ena me ka kire amanfo ne se me amegina ha ne mics bebree wo menimu a me kasa obi aga na fo nyina hwe me Facebook live me wo live on radio ni bibia yi edenti a enya ngoma sua nka me hwan na ni me papa na hwan na ni me mame enya ngoma sua asa na masua ngoma ni ama bin ni afra me doctor eno keke eni afra me doctor ena Akufo-Addo afuaso ena odimi aye minister for inner city and zongo development ada enya ngoma sua nka me hwan ya kami nyobia nti ngoma sua ehia ene ngoma sua ni nti mitimi tokoko e di ma mebusuafo momonom mitimi tokose e di ma mebusuafo momonom obi wo ho a wanya nko school nti no one na mabontin a koko tokra ayeden ayedi nti koko any free SHS no e wo relationship pa e wo ndc for ni man na me prove actually we said there's a relationship between koko and free SHS. There's a relationship between kose and free SHS. Itino
on non-FM.
Yakaye yariye ya abe COVID. Ebaye kiki na ye bompa ye say COVID no enkunkun Ghanaians bebre ni enfanya politics Akufo-Addo ye president itino amanfo ewu Emma COVID numbers so Akufo-Addo manage ade na ekofem no omo ye press conference ne ade aka say ye boa ye massage figures no ade won pese Ghana ho fo ho beto omo ya ka say Ghana fo ho to omo a ade na wudi ho etinya ka say nya nukure politics inti who pese Ghanaians ewu masa ya nhwe ni yi chese unitima na the quality of say what man e can leadership e kan Akufo-Addo omusi omunhwe Nigeria omunhwe hanumu omunfa omunbanko school ade na yede Marco school e na say nkwala 6 nya COVID ke yentu schools ni mu enye obia owo onimia oya nka yetutu schools ni bankola no say omayeden omawie schools no ama say amaman ya na nka mo ka say yen copy no omomom eyeden afede omusua yen omo copy yen Kenya no muni ade nyina omo be fa Dr. Educhum num ko Kenya say onko ye consultant emma wo mo on free SHS say Ghana ewiase nyina Ghana aye krabehwe Ghana aye icon madam for journalist your friend icon no Ghana aye icon a say obi e kan say mo wiase a oka de Ghana din and oka de Ghana din because of nipa ene odi Ghana ni mo no Nana Adodankwa Akufo-Addo osi ade yo Nana Adodankwa Akufo-Addo ne dagomba fo ama ne hinie Maltina Abudani Akufo-Addo the first ena me ka say multi e wo dagba ni kasa mo kire say obi a oye ade yi like okanipa bom because the bon crisis no say ne me kan ya no enye president Kufuor time 202 na crisis no start here crisis no start way back in 18 something president bia abedi ho abobo sa eko from Nkrumah to president Akufo-Addo o de fane say enya Akufo-Addo modern born na di peace ba dagbani e dagbon o de fane say ye nhira na say enya obi na otumfo Nyankopon nhira no o de kasa enye modern boy enhira keke e na nyame enhira se nyame enhira ne de ade umbe enhira umpe se o leader ebe ye obi otumfo nyankopon enhira na a enhira no ebe kan Ghana fo nyina umpe intino o ye den ahemfo na President Kufuor edi omudi no anim no e na Dagomba fo na nkasa omupe e na President Kufuor do ni nimdie ama peace ayeden abadagbon ama Dagomba fo na nkasa e boni din papa asine hinie ade ni nti wo a wo gina wo nchen de eden regions ye ka say ye be create from independence, Western North, Oti region, Savannah region. Omwaka ena ahafo. Omwaka kan say ye per region. President bi anya entimi anya kukudro. Because constitutional processes na also found na ade no bemu no. Masa woni kukudro a wontimi nya kukudro say obefa sa ade ni. But the Kufuor kukudrufo etimi aye ama sese yenya sa new regency ama sese yenya regional house of chiefs yenya regional administration blocks and ne fairness say for the first time no President Kufuor say all the departments no yemfa nko si regional capital no inti say ebia regional capital no eye bibie ni a Department of Agric bewo sehwioso na ebia health ewo enti we waha offices ebibewo na Lergu ebibewo Gambaga for North East ebibewo Dambai offices ni bibewo Akan KJB ni ade the ebeya development burden ebe spread akobe bia nkane no na uwe krasi remote area na wo yare ni epemoja ana yese wo kaw ni epe anti snake serum de ade a sebe enye otumfo nyankopon wa je se wu say because of drone delivery services President Kufuor enya vision edi ye enti no say bibi ka oke na ofra say owo widana ana owo madam for Kamal Krom na Antona drone ebeba be masa de no so edi aba na Anton ho ama yaje wo nkwa yesterday zipline services mo kai dede aba o mamu ha NDC did and a zipline no cry, it's a waste of time. Yenye ambulance. Yeah, zipline. Almost say and zipline here. Ambulances, that's what the people need. You should do ambulance. After your cover ambulance so by and so on. Almost say hospitals.
On FM.
Over her, almost say. Over her, almost says. Dagomba for eze. Dadam be mi o ya nang sham kabolo dira. But you bolo ni rada ba ko belo gbalene be kala Kamal iti womo no ye den a omo mo ye din papada sa enyomo no nkire ye no se nkofo bi o ye den a omo mo din papada on be bo din papa no na wawu akọ grave friends say asamado ansana ya bo din papa enu bi no o ye ze a omo si we Mowa ben mu no Ghana hana 55 ambulances pe na ewo Ghana 55 ambulances pe na ewo Ghana enokura President Kufuor na yeye National Ambulance Service na nkasa President Kufuor na establish inti na de bia me kase o President Mahama o ka kire ye say 208 say quote ewo brofo kasem if you vote for party because of roads hospitals schools and interchanges, then you have a weak mind, because every government does roads, schools, hospitals and interchanges, unquote. Say oto abama aban ana president say obeye u school ana wa kwan ana wo hospital mawa na chese sebi wadwen so na eno de government bi aye den eye okay ena de bia me bisa say nti yen schools ne hospitals ne ade ni free ho NDC aban pa o ma di Ghana so 27 years no eden no ma apart from building roads and schools because ade akese nyina e wo Ghana ha eboa eni biefo eni mobrowafo nyina eye MPP aban na eye bibiara Opa friend National Health Insurance Scheme, Opa friend Mass Transportation System, Opa friend School Feeding, Opa friend Capitation Grant, Opa friend 1D 1F, Opa friend Free SHS, Opa friend One Planting for Food, BBR MPP abay na ye. Mini anom, mumi enkanokre. Si ye kase abaya tem biara omo baswa Ghana eyeden etumponwa eyeden MPP abay. MPP are buying per ewiase nyina the whole world. There is nothing like Zongo Development Fund. Ewo bebia we wiase Ghana per na Zongo Development ho me na medano. Akufo do netimi nya salvation no. Inti mi nuanom. Ne me ba ya me be kan ewia yi ne se. Yenhwe we no mu nyina na December 2020 yen san to abano emma President Akufo-Addo na onkra yen bro na yen fa entwa nsuo kese no na yen kɔ ahoto medamase ya me hyiram.
For an MPP for press conference or Moyan Alisa Hotel and na Yakofa Bay, na Dr. Mustafa Hamid and the Embrace game. Dr. Mustafa Hamid na Edebe from Alisa Hotel Amobia Atibino na never be briba MPP for Aye and na what the two Janaman can't say ha. A lesson reference center our man 107.1 FM meaning obojati kwabra kwa ache ne tese ma yedi enkomo na se de ne yeke ka che mo no busua figures de ne ebedi ho nkomo ye be hwe se e bia constituency buya 20,000 na se kire sei na that 2016 munya sei 2020 se na mugire se bia munya esusu aso be de betimi aba ama ye be chese be ne betimi di nkunim anase be na entimi eni nkunim e ka kra ye be ko lesson poster ho Ben Epson ono ye editor Emma Daily Dispatch ne na kwa kudidi enkomo kakra na ya hwe si the figures no esitie kwa se e wo se figures no koso na se ba fomu a politicians no ya na omo ankasa pa omo tiase pa se minya ebi 60% or region ya time me wini minya 20% wa se ma mita lose ya na ebo mu hu se na ya omo e fa no eni ti no ye be ko yankwa homa se ni yenkudi awa da busa for men kwa homa so benya ubra be na sam ni kodi kwa agba mo ha mo akwa ba.
Oh, good afternoon, God. Good afternoon, TF4.
But your net December 7th. Yeah, shows. You see now, Nyami Aduma 18th, no, Umbebie exhibition. But then, yeah, if you go part numbers, no, so take a CBA, Kencity Media, so better, no problem. You basically a busa say, electoral data. Electoral data na say ne ya register ni pado do constituency ni police station ni region no electoral data no ya na sunfi wo sha hia be ne hia so fa so be pa na politicians na wo ma wo mo say be mo determine election ba kwan ko metima yo mo precious ya na te say
You mean that? So we'll see, and then more focusing on Eastern region.
But you be history, but general general overview, important implications of electoral data. Oh, you also say partly assuming on our Eastern region.
Oh, okay, good. What was the party be a Sednick a year? Or say first, or region be a
FM.
The population a war. And the breakdown of ethnic groups. Research my research and CDBI and Kofu Bibra, you know. It says 4% of Ghanaians, no, Wamutuaba, based on ethnic basis.
Based on ethnic basis, maybe I will free to Roberto Obama will be.
Yes, baby, and maybe your support with ethnicity plays a part in 4% of Ghanaians when they vote. And it's also there's 3 northern regions, where one constituency there are 2 or 3 major ethnic groups. When we say NDC, the 3 northern regions are their strongholds. But Shabia Obifi ethnic group A, let's say or new Obifi ethnic group B core primaries, no lusu. Let's say in Tiasia Ye Juma Pet. Na ethnic group Bako Belusu no or file independent pair. NDC Belusu, that's it.
And
and for the past 3 elections, your friend is a chart of constituencies are winning by less than 1,000. I guess in winning constituency, gap will be winning and do 1,000. We share northern regions now. MPP, who's a baby, NDC stronghold, no be winner. Make say NDC, no, there's division in their camp. Uber MPP, sure. If there is apathy from a strongholder, a cancer wound to me. Apathy, Obuwa, when you say constituency A, you win by a margin of 12,000 votes. Into me candidate, we win primaries. Into me, you be winner. Yes, my candidate, president candidate, be winning. Parliamentary candidate be winning, but also we say 1 or 2 or party the vote to so better. Any friend apathy. It is a apathy MPP. More than say after my primaries, there have been calls on people to be united. One more for Bufun China there, because Bufuna 1 or 2. Let's say we vote a certain pet. God will catch it. Uber Eastern region, and this year the second World Bank of MPP. Your bad details are Mama Wubu. Why are Eastern regions who Ebufu Woho? Let's say, want to win back pet. We will win majority of the votes next seat. Bamutibeti. Who's the saying?
Angabat Tobasa, you know, you apathy though. And then my bell, Sandana, it me by my apathy to me, my finance, I go for this a bufodi, or most of that anchor to Abana, figures an adropo. Eventually, no, none ebia Akunya Susaso, I want national election, and Casaso Mamun, a candidate Bubaka Kundus.
Yes. Usha ex-president Kufo. Only another radio station year interview no. Or see 2008 defeat MPP so far, a year no 1 you move be there in Hawaii Basa. It was very close. NDC candidate Professor Mos, may he rest in peace. Oh, we may run off by a margin of 40,000. So be a Bekaya, Tifo Bekaya. 2008, no one from Winching, Alana Nakaka Krebemu, among for Ebufu Kakra. Votes are MPP 9 in 2004 in Ashanti and Eastern regions, Asoti to Apache. Said the votes are MPP 9 in 2004 were Ashanti and Eastern. And then you the same votes are in Kobe winning 2008. This is an example of a party against a party.
All right, and young Eastern region, na young Eastern region, and Casano figures what Eastern region. Minim say be between the year 2000 about so they be 2012, 2016, so and now the BBC 2020 so.
Okay. First, the 10 top ethnic groups are what Eastern region where Ghana Statistical Service data. The 10 top ethnic groups what Eastern region. Achim 17.8%. Second, Dangbe 16.9%. Third, Ewe 15.9%. Fourth, Ikwapim 10.6%. Sixth, Fanti 5.2%. Seven, Ashanti 3.9%. 8, Gan 1.5%. Akwamu 1.3%. In the Agona 1.1%. In the God the Wusha Eastern region is very diversified. In the Tokoka Krisi Pet you're starting free 2004. President Kufuor Owini first round. In Eastern region 2004, no, the difference at MPP Nya over NDC was 201,577 votes. That is MPP Nya 60.3%. In the NDC Nya 38.4%. 2008 first round MPP renew, but one more difference of victory over NDC was 137,998 in percentage terms. MPP now 57.1, in the NDC now 41.1. When say Makachi say want to buy MPP votes go from Eastern. MPP now 2001 577 577 votes in 2004. First round a drop about 137. A call run off a coso kakra a nipo. A coso do 140,089 votes. In Greek, even 180,000 kra. And the so percentage is 57.5 and 42.6 for NDC. That is runoff. 2012, MPP now 56.3 and the NDC now 42.6. The margin of victory was 155,887 votes. So, for Bekaya 2012, no, MPP lose general election. Now, 2016, the margin of victory of MPP over NDC in Eastern was 294,725. Kufuor winning, we got that margin. Kufuor winning 2004 first round, we got 201,577. 2016, no, Gordon, the percentage was MPP 63.3%. In the MPP now 35.6. The chair said Eastern, the second World Bank of MPP, MPP now 60% plus. Now I shan't to so I'm sure it's one of the progress of the MPP I had to go down some.
And that just Uber and Hokwana Osaka and say, what should more 10 BMPP betimenya less than 60% biano. MPP to me and Fabano. Bomunya 60 home echo say pa now just a what to me afa. Akabawusha 2016 the MPP in terms of a percentage 63.3%. 63.3. What did they say? Nema Bena that are mutimi ye leadership of party no both executive national executives and flag bearer no and never be no mo ye that time there o mutimi hwepo apo bia ma o mo kwa abonte ekoto abasa mutimi 63.3 no
good wonchu bia e wo party ni mo no wo mo sisi wo mo ye committee bia o mo friend no conflict resolution committee committee we will say it's not a kamapa whom you yeah bako kabako inti womu to me minimum said this year so almost set it up to be chief of staff madam the committee in 2016 CC no money in ano so there was a massive voting fanya kwadro kra Osha Kufuor winning first round 2004 only 201,500 only 60.3. 2016 difference 294,725 63.3. You say people who 16 and below their head go court. Now because I did not find more can say it cuts across the country. So MPP also votes for Ashanti Eastern. Asandaba for MPP. NDC women to minya but two parties in Nimpobe will general no. You have to appeal to the floating voters and elections in this country, there were three kingmaker regions: Greater Accra, Central, Western. We need two regions. We have majority of seats in Parliament and we have presidential votes also.
But we share Eastern region. Yeah, can we do any bumwa? Far if constituencies ben na we share problems. Ewo ho no mo most of the time it me ekosoro ho na aba from but ye ko 2020 year mu no constituencies ben na we share issues ho no ma we say people vote mo money ko so pass so what ma e dey chire kakra dia.
Oh, next week baby. You next week baby. But meaning sir some of the constituencies you know binum still abutwi ni ho. I mean person me budi answer. Baby and can incumbents lose you know. Incumbents almost independent but supporters ne bufu wom say ibinum omi ministers when people are being supporting some of the candidates may incumbents in below so mama there omi experience politicians omi fans about you go win or you go lose but supporters say bufu omu the share conference committee no mo kasa no mo show mo supporters in kasa so mo say most of the seats they are very safe seats so let them be winning but margin here 2086 womu kra ewes wo hopa intesiaka se ewes ankoto aba the voter region kwa in can say ga 18.8%. Second, ewe 17.9%. Na Fanti 10.6%. And the third party will save seats above your favorite ethnic group are God will be
Quest me enchi be meja mo akọ na ya na to de bia wo hwe eastern region ya ya na figures no enkosoro pa nkofo charge ba komota de board president Kufuado ya wa bonten na home region kra so no enkofo enheda wuntimi nya figures ni ye sa ya na emasoro sa but looking at data ya with the MICC said wo hwe ethnic ye wo say achimfo 17.8 and na ever for 15.9 Fant is a 5.2, gas is 1.3. Figures here done before
16.9.
Done before 16.9, yes. And now ever for 15.9. And now Fant here 5.2. And now
Fant here 5.2, Ashanti here 3.9.
Aha. No, to the Sawusha have and figures here. Not just say because people be born and not do so say baby we free crown no figures and enkosoro pa e bia enko be 75% of man sa so born yes say na e say dey so nyina papa bia na meboa.
Oh, it's very unfair. Very unfair. Programs are we Godwin the me on catch am for so that one be two program no a for paper and pen into because you better on how data with the data who nyama your church be a some ethnic groups. The whole Wales population census, Ghana Statistical Service, the whole country, Ashanti no Modoso, 3.8 million. Second, Ewe, 3.3 million. Third, Fante, almost 2.8 million. Nayeka Eastern region, being putting in context, equipping for about 625,000, equipping for the whole country. Achim for about 766,000, the whole country. Into these are the groups, main groups are war. Eastern.
I can patrol, you say, Obo, a data no, I can go from pen paper or my church or much as I can first and but there were 109. Yeah, who call for the call for figure, I say.
Ever go.
I call for
nationwide and now in
Eastern region.
In Eastern region, but for me, some with you.
That was for Uncle Benet. Yes.
Achim 17.8%. Gandhi 16.9%. Ewe 15.9%. Equapim 10.6%. Kwau 7.9%. Fanti 5.2%. Ashanti 3.9%. Ga 1.5%. Akwamu 1.3%. Na Agona 1.1%.
All right, I'm sorry. First and Ankasa Bayako Fabatoso 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, almost 7.9. And the social President Kufuado, first, a crappy was I at Chimney. Yeah, you know, omo figure no 10.6% plus 17.8 just say ense da nkosuru bi akese on be den na omatimi maximize den ya enipa bi ofia omo nkoto aba ewo fa so omo achim ene ekwapem no obede timi aginja wo mo se ebe na so se motimi namu pie ekwa bontina mo nkoto aba based on ne mapa maye.
Our first or started with one more losing one more dear or Matia say about what day. But today a young man could call soon and some could call one more losing, one more winning in various constituencies. Oh, no more so my abaku. Woman who say, because more woman winning qua campaign. But said, yeah, still a young blue. Son, I was saying.
But yeah, 3 months to elections. Do you think it's a tosini, a nasi power will lose or because a mafia nuntina want me and winning? Do you think it's a part in a bit to me? I see Bibia, Ama could rule said 7 December and a bar, or bet me aqua to Abena more than 65% group. Possible.
Oh, 3 months for those. They just have to let the people agree, and then then you're losing home, they'll go to the various people, have massive rallies 2 times as a. Because meaning say some of the safe constituencies, I elections now no yes. Because we need to have parliament. We don't have to bother about national. There is tension or horror, more for the dear mouth for Kemna there. Only the one country, but no far rooms or not so be your constituency elections are can they be our campaign team platform that can they still be. I know now, woman some baby. Okay, Coco, but one qua apatino, a cancer, they do.
Ben and the bedas na wu queen can be chatting for say den ya adwuma no one ya kopim December 17th. So what should they expect from you?
Oh, so much me no dia elections no be we need there na me na dey na cancer time do. Yeah, but my one they dedicate to them so much say in their own environment because more biano near cost they can even draw the attention of the MP. So we do program, no programs there. We know what young planning into what there be.
For editing Robert Nelson and now we editor Emma Daily Dispatch. You then edit and come on no. Very emphatic. I don't know. Ti we baby number kakra any actually. Me did some pen for 18 so no. On better as upon no much. I keep news. Not there some more no. Offer.
Odon ade no egu ho no say ka say analysis na ye de beba
yeah
and then unfortunately no emre ni afa odon na senka or me de figures be facts and figures be back
yeah
the
akabenika
any aka ni na ba ansa no bi aka on so text message
yes
any line no ba na fi yemfa bibi kakra
so
Eastern region dynamics
in
view of the breakdown or the far or the same
data composition of a yes
ethnic
composition
quickly and
oh no my man go straight away to Abusa for beti send a text message no WhatsApp I war 0558 575 500 0558 575 500 mpato yem frɛ ye the messages in kwande faso text messages and as WhatsApp so of anti yenko
God on for the sake of your telephone intin yakɔ Eastern region na ye hwɛ ye twe edin wie so said ye e ma no se sabatofo no omo mbeto aba no omo numbers no etsitie na Anke Ben actually, of course, ethnic composition. The fa numbers na ni ahwe ne dodo ni ahwe ethnic group wa omo constitute sa number.
Okay.
And then they be for the sake of this program.
Because the time is
Mamini Kanye first 13. No?
Okay.
Eastern region. No? Because I'm say others are now our program or more good change na Jeff Kennedy won't anybody come up. Was also at reporters a goon. Eastern region with the child packers, your partner, or the on the bottom because and a real morning show and I walk.
They had you can say a quanzo on quota ya queen, and then who's the quotas which now generate heat. A crime on and Raja quoted in us to table for a best level. Yamia do the best idea.
We won't go beyond
that. We can't go beyond 4.
And the garden, see, presently a trade in it didn't try actually, so called Eastern Regional. Sadia Makano say Electoral Commission, almost books, no, almost assign numbers new to any constituency. So far, no, a district. But fortunately, Eastern Region, no, there are 33 districts and 33 constituencies.
1-to-1 mapping.
Into a 1-to-1 mapping. So per constituency, and I said district almost does by a new job in South.
Okay.
A walk for Micho Kofibafi. In the Jinamama MPP. Obia 92,124. Yes. You trade in into per region a
constituency Eastern region of Dawson
Pa dia. And no a 92,124.
Okay.
If you are near about in Sawam Adwaji. And now God is saying constituencies new ha a year combination of these ethnic groups in our home.
Oh yes.
So Koforibia say Asante for ho. Achim for ho. Evers for ho. Krobos for anger the benefits all can Dangbi no Krobo. Almost number is not. In Sawama Dwaji, I'm gonna hear the second highest or most populated constituency.
Oh, Eastern region.
Yes. 87,390. I don't pray. I
house another cosmopolitan area. A deeper brief. Free. There's another dynamics near Ikakra.
If you are near Coco West, a young Coco. Okay. Coco, dear. Safely, Nutimusa from my womb, but Cofona and Casados.
A dozen, yeah.
A wire 76,214. 76,214. Constituency at Tosson 9 about 4 doors on Hopai Eastern region here. Lower Menya Krobo. Okay. 73,170. I know they are predominantly Gandangwe. Which is almost a doors. Yeah. Now they are Tossum Suhum constituency.
Hey.
Yes. The 5th most populated, I was
constituency
70,411.
Okay.
So, it is whom your baby so here
Papa, especially with the new candidate.
Yes. If you are near Kokwai Bibrim, and Tempentina, Godome, Yanasa, Kwai Bibrim is 66,525. So, Kwai Bibrim, or this Aquatia area near can you remember?
Yeah, Aquatia area.
That's sanity. Kwai Bibrim Aquatia area. Kwai ne, one new way. Oh, if you are into difference between Kwai Bibrim ne Aquapem North, no, or don't you Kakrabi? Kwai Bibrim is 66,525. And Aquapem North 66,390. Into difference, no, in 200 people cry, and I say 200 voters. If you are near called Yellow Crobo, Yellow Crobo, yes, 63,052. Now, Yaba West Achim, yes, 62,731. Now, Yaba Asu Jaman. So,
okay, Asu Jaman.
Yes, Asu Jaman, so we him say ever 4 doors.
Oh, yes.
open one because of
some border no
in so no adwuma ye no ana e ho nso so yes e ho ne ayi eben baby ana e ho ne Japan Japan so okuja to black akonso
who say Japan dey be na controversy ni pe be nim say Japan say you
daddy e ho no sa na o hwe o fa sa akwa no so a akwaya say Gomua is ni Gomua West we be cross wa yes on say Gomua East say na ba be kan Gomua nyanya no nom ne ade sa na for asa akotra Sodro na akọ Sodro akiri na eno so Gomua de Gomua ha asanete
afati aka 2 minutes per year ko
nti West Achim ye 62 omna toss on crown 62,731 so Jamaica 59,496 and Upper West Achim 55,421 and Ayensuano bensu ye and no year 54,049 go down
okay
a brentino medubesia
but of a
by way of
yes
they support to Uncle Ben with so that's time bet me be marching against all the ethnic groups national composition no
yes
na the who here say omo campaign show omo nsa eastern region no omo bet sa dynamics ase no omo fa ni agro na bebia na amanasepo bibia betimi ama apathy low voter turnout
abadie there be so mutimi to ase
they should watch out
yes of any first day no employee do message abayan kan say no more any ye kra was kudos to you and for this initiative. It is very insightful program and will give the electorates the opportunity to make the right decision come December 2020 ebu amwa asalibutwe or that Uncle Benasin so asipa was it explain the type okay wait a minute was good afternoon Gordon Ashanti and yebeko Ashanti it's a friend ya start say here for na we prefer ba Eastern region enti akwa start for no e prefer ho no if Eastern region enti ho ne de Poemantem enti ho ne different yes pepe enti different ho no but na careful bakoti o say in fact ask from vice president Debbie abuza me bacho discussion ya to be no be akọ tade bi wo be na wo de no be na e sheda nye related ya
sticky programs are endorse on issue
yes
boiling point said there program no angle
yes
and the content it here we know ya share that near packaging the way
ya packaging na pepe and to the sorry so na de ya kakra ne se enken mpanifo bi break no be di enkobo nke be ko Eastern region akasa ni Eastern region minister Edin Kobo no my overview of Eastern region na ye mpanifo so ya tewagun so mo ne nam kwa so nke be di akwan ho nkomo pa akasa infrastructure akwan any schools especially nke ne be di no so nkona ke ne MPP national organizer and so Samuel Okusu Edin Komo pa say campaign no enye te say 2016 campaign bi masesa etikono so be che say so fa isa na fa he for bitifi a say do so betimi ahwe no otimi aboa in unfortunately nyina ama so nyame adoma ukada program no eye adwo ada ukada anifiada nyame adoma ukada of say ye beto so
go down sanity
all right
na ye kono na eshepu say aka chiro say ye the segment be cry friend fake news
yes fake news beba
say fake news no adults na on this program your segment to be a fake news e be kan kire say asem we enenam from mamu enenam platform we no enenam social media we no enyampa no kre bi anim e be prove the ntia enyampa godon
pepe enti ebusafo fa aseda kese emma Solomon Sasomensa head of production and Dr. Muzewo Kind your Kencity Media abuaje so e wase no mona KG sports so na di wuje chidavia je said ye obia eka ho in fact na tachi kwampo so na around that ono so make sure say ade na enyina kwaso
MPP press conference
of na ebi message o mode ba said that ben ye be ko TV so near that am catch me say you know the management hwe CBC enche biente no e ba busa for me god na sabedi akome ne oboteti kwamna kwachi enne ne ye first edition of election reference center ebaye na we promise you more if nyame adoma wukada any fiada eko nyame adoma etina ye be sen ehia ye das
Sebamed range of products